Hello and welcome to True Audiophiles, where today, as you have already seen by the title, I am going to be doing a sound quality shootout for John Coltrane Giant Steps. And part of the reason for that, or probably the biggest reason, is that Analog Productions and Atlantic Records have released a 75th anniversary audiophile edition, which is a 2 LP 45 RPM version of the stereo mix. And supposedly, well, not supposedly, it's an analog cut. Don't know exactly what masters they used for it, but it is cut from analog master tapes. So I wanted to do this, and I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing a Stone Temple Pilots one as well here on another video that you'll be able to watch. But basically, I have several copies of this. The one thing that I wish I had that I realized when doing this shootout is I wish I had a mono copy on record. I have a high-resolution digital copy of it in mono, which I like the Atlantic Coltrane in mono much better, just because there's really no imaging or anything like that on. It's a extreme pan left and right for all the instruments. So the drums will be in, and the bass will be in the right speaker, and the saxophone and the piano will be in the left speaker, as an example. So something that kind of disappoints me. They did that with My Favorite Things and a couple of others as well. So that's the one thing I kind of wish that AP did the mono version, but that's neither here nor there because they didn't. But I actually have several copies. So, like I had mentioned, here's the 45 RPM by Analog Productions. I actually have a numbered copy. It was number 555, which is kind of cool. I also have, I don't know if it's a Rhino or an Atlantic, but it's one from probably, I don't know, I'm guessing probably 8-10 years ago, maybe a little less, maybe 5 to 7 years ago. But it's I don't know the origins in terms of what it was cut from. I'm guessing it's cut from digital, but and there's no credits in terms of who cut it. There's no one in the dead wax, and actually all the rest of these from Rhino don't have any credits that I've seen anyways, and nothing in the dead wax. So maybe some of you might know. I also have a Rhino version that's supposedly cut from the flat master, as they say here. Supposedly it's cut from analog, from what I recollect as being the situation with this, but regardless, cut from the flat master, which leads me to think that they didn't add any EQ or anything. They just kind of cut it from that. Besides the RIAAQ EQ, of course. And then the last one that I have here is a 60-year anniversary 2LP deluxe edition, which has some outtakes and things like that on the second record. So again, and all three of these other versions that I have that are the non-Analog Productions versions are all different cuts, and they definitely sound different. So I'll kind of go over that as well. So anyway, I listened to the Analog Productions one, and first take, I thought it sounded really good. The bass was nice. The there was enough high end. I think it sounded very neutral and sounded really good. Again, it's hard to judge imaging per se, because there really wasn't a whole lot of that. It's pretty much everything's hard pan to the left and right on this, as I had mentioned before. But it sounded very good. And I thought that the bass was nice and rich and deep and tight, and overall sounded very, very good. I listened to all the other three. I chose, I believe it was Giant Steps is what I actually listened to kind of do the A-B comparison, kind of back and forth. And I would say that the flat master probably sounded the closest to the Analog Productions version. But the Analog Productions had a kind of a tighter, more accurate bass, I think, than the flat master had. And the deluxe edition probably had the most treble of all of them as well. And the older reissue kind of landed somewhere in between the flat master and the deluxe edition. So I think overall they had a very similar sound. The one thing that I did notice is the older reissue that I have, or the older of the ones I have, and the AP had a very similar soundstage in that it was more forward and wider slightly than the other two. The other two seemed deeper, but deeper is a relative term because there's nothing in the middle to have a super deep soundstage on it. So, but that was kind of the thing I noticed with the AP and the older reissue. And, if I had to make a choice in terms of what I liked overall, I mean, I definitely feel that the AP is definitely the best of the four that I have, although I have to freely admit there's very, very little difference. And I would say that I would, I think any of the other ones are probably readily available. I'd really love to be able to hear an earlier pressing. I unfortunately don't have an earlier pressing. Any one that I've ever found was much, much more than I wanted to spend. Because I think I saw like an original black label and it was just, it was insanely expensive and I wasn't going to spend that much on it, even though I like it. But anyways, I mean, and again, my preference actually still is to the mono. So now I have to find myself a mono copy of this on vinyl and kind of listen to that. But I don't like the hard pan left and right on these Atlantic Coltrane releases that most of them have. So, but I actually, I think if you're looking at a set overall, you're definitely going to really like the AP because I think it definitely has the most neutral sound of all of them and has definitely that tighter, more accurate bass that of any of them. But, I really like the deluxe edition as well. So all of them sound great. The deluxe edition, though, I should say I like because I like the outtakes and the extras that it gives you. And it's probably going to be, I think it's cheaper than the AP. So, I mean, if you're wanting the most neutral sounding and the best in terms of detail and things like that, you definitely want to go with the AP. I definitely think it's at least maybe marginally better, but better than the other ones, but just barely. I think your best value, if you can still find one, is that earlier reissue that I got from, I'm guessing that this was probably from like 2016, 2017. I'm not sure, though. There's no copyright date on it besides the copyright of the actual original recording, so I don't know, and I didn't do the research, so I apologize. I don't know which one that is, but that one I think had the similar sound stage to the AP, and then the flat transfer, most people might like that one because it's probably going to be the closest from an EQ standpoint to the AP one. It's going to be the most neutral, and it's probably less than half the cost of the AP version. So that's everything I have on that one. So AP definitely is the overall winner, but just slightly, very slightly. All the other three are really great, and I don't think anyone would be disappointed with the other three that I have anyway. So, and I like the deluxe edition because it adds the extra outtakes and things like that. So, would love to hear what you have to say, though. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear anyone comparing the AP Analog Productions one to maybe an early or first pressing of this on Atlantic. So, but I really want to hear your take and see what you say. So, I want to thank you for subscribing if you subscribe. If not, please do so. I love seeing new subscribers. Hit that like button if you liked the video and make some comments below. And if you want to know when my new videos come out, hit that alert bell. So, that is everything for this episode. I want to thank you for watching, and you have yourself a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week.